Senator Kisang, despite his relatively advanced age than Cherargei, we'll wait also for Cherargei to speak first. Then the good man from Tot can speak later, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support this
you give seniors priority.
Very important motion.
I'm afraid whether the 10 years in the National Assembly, Kisang's 10 years are also recognized.
Mr. Speaker, you know he's trying to bribe you because he knows you are an interested party in that matter. But I know you are a straightforward Njuricheke, who delivers justice without compromise from people like Senator Kisang.
Okay, proceed.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to support this very important bill before us. This is a very important bill, Mr. Speaker, that has seen its fair share of rounds in this House. That is the House of the Senate. I think this is the third attempt that we're actually making. And listening to Senator Miraj and our colleague, Senator Professor Kamar, move this bill, it gives very cogent reasons why any reasonable legislator, either in the National Assembly or in the Senate, should support this piece of legislation, Mr. Speaker. But unfortunately, each time this bill gets to the counterpart house in the National Assembly, they shelve it for reasons beyond my understanding. I do hope that Senator Miraj has committed this bill to prayer before moving it. And all the people she has mentioned, Mr. Speaker, though limited to Mombasa County majorly, but its effect will be on the whole country and the 47 counties, Mr. Speaker, will actually have justified reason to support this very important piece of legislation. One of the things I admire about advanced societies is in how they preserve their traditions, how they preserve various symbolic places, Mr. Speaker, and men and women who make serious commitment. People have moved from even celebrating individuals to even celebrating work culture, Mr. Speaker. If you go, and I have said this example many times previously, I can't remember the specific airports, but in one of the airports in the United States, I read a caption that really impressed me. The same way people queue on airports, they had put a caption and they had said, farmers are the heroes of this state. If you are a farmer, you don't have to queue because you feed us. And then when we inquired further, we were told that it's because it got to a time where very few people wanted actually to participate in farming activities, Mr. Speaker, because of its meager returns. So they encourage this culture that those that actually engage in farming activities, Mr. Speaker, are the heroes of that local state. And they are being celebrated so as to encourage young people, even as they grow up, Mr. Speaker, they would know that they are doing a very sacred task for the people of that state, Mr. Speaker. And you'll find that actually you'd see occasionally one or two people would walk, instead of taking the queue, they just pass by the machine. The only thing that troubled me in my Kenyan mind, Mr. Speaker, is that if you attempt to do that at JKIA, everybody, including those who farm skuma wiki in gunny bags on the balconies of Nairobi, they'll claim to be farmers, Mr. Speaker. You know us with our culture. If even in that country as well, Mr. Speaker, of the United States, many times when you see military servicemen and women walk even into petrol station and convenience stores, many times people will greet them and say, thank you for your service, because people appreciate what others do for a living. It is that culture of appreciating men and women that do great for others, Mr. Speaker, that encourages even our young people to know that there is value, Mr. Speaker, in serving your country, in doing the right thing for your community. That is exactly what this bill is attempting to do. Yet, unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, because of our lack of good practices of preserving our culture, our artifacts, our historical events, Mr. Speaker, people have long forgotten us. You just saw this afternoon. In fact, when I saw what the exchange between Senator Kalwale, my good friend, and Senator Catherine Moma, I said, perhaps they are setting a precursor for the County Hall of Fame bill. If there was a County Hall of Fame here in Busia, there was no need for argument between who has done this contribution or the other. We'd have just brought out the roll call here and say, now that you're in Busia County, these are the men and women whose lives have had great impact to the people of Busia County, Mr. Speaker. But it is non-existent. That's why we have to rely on the cultural perspectives of Kalwale, Mr. Speaker, or the feminine antics of my colleague, Senator Mumo, Mr. Speaker, to celebrate them. She is correcting me that antics is not the right word, Mr. Speaker. Okay, feminine sensitivities, Mr. Speaker, if I may replace that particular word, Mr. Speaker. I don't struggle with English, Senator Muma. Therefore, I know what you mean, and I wanted to make sure that I speak right. And just for the record, you were right, actually. As a father of daughters, I appreciate that you celebrated the women that have made great contribution to Busia County, better than the men folk from this region attempted to do, Mr. Speaker. And I agree also with her position earlier, that a woman belongs actually to where she's born. She also belongs to where she's married. It is a gift that God gave to them. They are the only ones that can have two homes. That's why even culturally, Mr. Speaker, you find that women are sometimes elected in their place of birth or even where they have been married to. And if you want to challenge that, Mr. Speaker, you become a woman and do the things that they do, Mr. Speaker, and carry the burden that they carry. Therefore, you benefit from that. So therefore, Mr. Speaker, it is my sincere hope that we shall conclude on this bill and send it to our colleagues in the National Assembly, who will have the place of grace to appreciate that this has nothing to do with senators, Mr. Speaker, but everything to do with society appreciating important historical happenings, either contribution by human beings, events of nature, Mr. Speaker, sacred locations, things that have had great impact in society, Mr. Speaker, that you will preserve it. I have said, and I want to repeat for emphasis' sake, Mr. Speaker, that there is no society that is worth its place of pride that does not have a place for celebrating the men and women that make great contribution for the advancement of that society. That the only way we will actually be able to measure you as a society, how advanced you are, Mr. Speaker, is when you begin to do things such as this, so that you encourage others to know that there is value in doing right, there is value in service to community. In fact, I want to challenge governors, our colleagues who serve in the executive side of our county assemblies. You don't even have to wait for this bill. Many of these countries, by the way, you know, I don't know where we got this culture from, to imagine that to do the right thing, you need the law. In many of these countries that I'm citing, there is no law, for example, Mr. Speaker, in the United States, that dictate that if you meet a serviceman or woman, you have to appreciate them and say thank you for your service to the country. But people just do it out of appreciation. Therefore, I want to challenge colleague governors and people that are listening to this broadcast, Mr. Speaker, that there is nothing that stops our county governments from celebrating and setting up County Hall of Fames, Mr. Speaker, even without the passage of this legislation, Mr. Speaker, so that you appreciate the people that have made significant contribution to your community, to your country. Even the president, Mr. Speaker, must set up this thing at a national level so that we appreciate and set it to the level, Mr. Speaker, where the men and women that have made our country great, Mr. Speaker, all have brought us moments of national pride, Mr. Speaker. Faith Kipyegon, for the moments she has given us over all those world championships and Olympics each time. When you stand beyond the in front of a TV, from whichever part of the world that you're watching from, and see her conquer the world, Mr. Speaker. Money will never repay. That's why I was a little bit disturbed last week, actually, Mr. Speaker. I never got a chance to look at my colleagues. I think, I don't want to mention them, but they know themselves, who appear to be besmirching the Harambee Stars players, actually, who are just encouraged to invest in the affordable housing program. And they took issue with it and said, oh, why are they being rewarded? Number one, they are not being rewarded. They are just being encouraged to invest in it. I thought as legislators, Mr. Speaker, we would say, if you recall the triumph and the journey of our young people that participated in the CHAN 2024 that happened in Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania, Mr. Speaker, is that they came at a time, actually, Mr. Speaker, doom and gloom in the country as a follow-up to the political activities of June and July. And they brought us very good reprieve as a country in a moment of national pride. That is not something that you can ever replicate, Mr. Speaker. No amount of money will ever buy or bring a country together the way our sportsmen and women, just to use them as an example, Mr. Speaker, do each time when they represent the country and they do us proud, Mr. Speaker. That moment when you feel proud as a Kenyan, Mr. Speaker. That's what decent societies do. We don't need legislation such as this, Mr. Speaker, to remind us. But because this is our culture and because we know how we behave, perhaps we need to put it and draft it into law, Mr. Speaker, so that people begin to appreciate and know that the same way we insist that crime must be punished to deter those that are thinking of doing similar things, Mr. Speaker. You know the way they read the convictions in court, so as to prevent you and those of a similar behavior from ever thinking of doing this and that. I convict you for this and this. This is an attempt to do the same for those that have done great, so that when young people from a particular primary school in Busia here, Mr. Speaker, visit the Busia County Hall of Fame, they will read about the Julia Ujambo professor that Senator Catherine Muma was talking about, her biography, the things that she has done, where she went to school, and her contribution and her relevance to the people of Busia. It inspires our young children. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, if we leave it as it is today, they will get inspiration from TikTok alone, Mr. Speaker. And the people that are doing some funny things in there, because there is no place that they can go and read about the history of their county, of their community, of their region, Mr. Speaker, and how the contributions of eminent sons and daughters of that region or place or country, Mr. Speaker, has been captured and recorded. We will not be here for eternity. In another few decades, most, if not all of us in this house, Mr. Speaker, will be part of the history books. How will people remember our contribution if indeed we would have done something good for the country or for the county that we represent if we don't begin this kind of culture? Many times you walk, even in European cities, and you find very insignificant acts, Mr. Speaker. I remember being in one of the capitals, I don't recall the specific place, but they just celebrated an individual, Mr. Speaker, whose contribution to that community was the fact that for the longest time, he ran a newspaper magazine store that the greater part of that county or municipality got their news from for, I think, for a couple of decades, Mr. Speaker. And at the end of his life, the local municipal actually renamed that corner of the street in his honor, Mr. Speaker. Little contributions. It doesn't have to be the people that make great exceptional things that we think, oh, this person did something that was life-changing. It could be just somebody that did something as honorable as selling newspapers, informing people, and their bread of life dutifully and diligently, and did so for a record number of years to a point that people appreciated that there was a honest person who served this community. I believe there are many such people, Mr. Speaker, who have done great things in our county, not necessarily the things that we elites celebrate, but even in their ordinary life, just honest, decent life, Mr. Speaker, something that is so lacking in our society in present day, Mr. Speaker, that to a point where people can begin to celebrate and say, there was a cobbler actually who kept his time. That unlike other cobblers who tell you that I was just waiting for the shoe to dry up before I knit it together, and when you walk away, they put it away, Mr. Speaker. That there was this gentleman who, for the time that he served in this place, lived a decent and a honest life, Mr. Speaker. I believe that that is a challenge to all of us that are in leadership and all of us as a society. Because part of the struggle that the Kenyan society continues to face up to this date, Mr. Speaker, is the fact that we lack good examples for people to follow. Everybody is on and about and doing their own things. There are very few men and women to emulate anymore. I don't know, Mr. Speaker, about your concerns, for example, as a father. I say this because as a father, many times you engage your kids and are concerned about the people that they consider to be their heroes. Apart from, you would think that the same way for you back in the day, it would be the professor by the corner in the village, or a particular individual who had a quote-unquote big job in Nairobi. For them, It's very interesting characters. And I want to encourage those of you that are young parents, like Senator Kajwang, Senator Cherargei, and the rest. I think Senator Mugen, we can spare him this confusion because, at least to the best of my knowledge, his kids are all of adult age. But Senator Kajwang, Senator Cherargei, this is a conversation that you may sometimes want to have with your young children, to ask them who their heroes and role models are. You'll be shocked that it is not necessarily the people that you yourself growing up used to think that I'd wish to be like so-and-so. So if we don't set up this culture, Mr. Speaker, of celebrating the men and women that do exceptionally well in our society and finding a place to preserve their story and make sure that it is told in the right way, Mr. Speaker, we are setting a very bad culture for our society. It is my hope, Mr. Speaker, that in the formation of this Hall of Fame in our various counties, the designation of the place, because it is stated that there will be a designated public building where this can be done. I have said, and I want to repeat, Mr. Speaker, that you don't have to wait for this bill as a county to do it. I'd encourage any forward-looking and any progressive governor, particularly those that are serving their second term, that actually begin this, and that will be part of your contribution to your society. In future, when people read about your history, it will be read that actually the culture of County X, Kericho County, Bungoma, Busia, I don't know, Vihiga, Mr. Speaker, celebrating its men and women was begun by Governor so-and-so. And this building was dedicated for the future of this society. So that in 100 years' time, people will come and read and know that there used to be a senator of theirs who used to do this or the other and is considered a local hero. It doesn't have to be even as politician. It could be a local priest, Mr. Speaker, whose contribution to making that society better make. Part of it also, Mr. Speaker, the part that I appreciate about this is actually preservation of historical items and artifacts. There's a place, for example, in my county, in Kericho, where when Queen Elizabeth visited, I don't know in which year, in the early parts of the 20th century, Mr. Speaker, that she visited and laid flowers in appreciation of how beautiful and vast that land is. I believe you've been to Kericho and you appreciate how beautiful and expansive the land is. That place, if you go there today, you will find cows just leaping and donkeys, Mr. Speaker. You hardly even can recognize it. In fact, how I even came to know about it as a senator is that there is an old lady who walked up to me sometimes in Nairobi at a shopping mall and told me, by the way, Senator, you guys have really let me down. There is this particular corner of the county that I want you to visit and check. And she gave me the history of how that place became a historically relevant part of the county. And when I checked, actually, true to her telling of the story, Mr. Speaker, it was completely neglected and run down. Nobody even appreciated. I want to believe in more decent societies. A place that a person of that world fame has visited and done something that is symbolic and significant will at least be preserved for her admirers or for future generations, that people will want to know who is this particular person when they visit. There are many other things that can be said. There was a big contest back in the day, Mr. Speaker, about returning the head, for example, or the spear that was used by Koitalel Arab Samoei from the British forces. And up to date, that is yet to be done. How will it be returned, Senator Cherargei? You have not built the public building where to keep it. If it comes, where will you take it? Will it go to your home or the home of my friend Governor Sag, Mr. Speaker? We must preserve and be ready to do this thing, what decent societies do, Mr. Speaker, so that we can preserve our culture and celebrate what needs to be done. I don't want to belabor the point, Mr. Speaker, because I know this is a fairly straightforward matter. I want to agree, Mr. Speaker, that this is long overdue. My only plea is that when it gets to our colleagues, the counterparts in the National Assembly, they will do that which they are duty-bound to do to ensure that we give the country a good piece of law. I congratulate Senator Miraj on the choice of bill actually to move while we are here in Busia, because it speaks to relevant issues that are related to people in our counties. I thank you for the chance, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Senators, there is a lot of interest on this bill. I just advise us, of course, you have your 20 minutes.